Good evening, EXPs. What's good? How you guys doing? It's Jay checking in with you guys live. As promised, I'm joining you from my home at ATL. But I just wanted to come on to not only talk about the week ahead, but recap a few things within the experiential marketing industry. So, first off, let me make sure my camera good, my camera clear. Good. All right. Let me know where you guys are checking in from, what events you worked this weekend, this past weekend, what you got coming up this week. If some of you I know were at Coachella, hi, did you enjoy Coachella? Um, what are you enjoying thus far about, going into the spring and going to into the summer of the experiential marketing industry? All right, we got a lot of things coming up. And tonight, hey, Macon, checking in. I got to see who that is actually. I'm gonna go ahead and get on my laptop here really quick so I can make sure I'm addressing you guys properly when you are checking in because I definitely want to say hey, all right, to you guys. But definitely tonight I want to talk for a few minutes about Fred. Hey, Fred, that's Fred. Thanks for your pictures too that you guys posted when I asked you guys to go ahead and provide me with some updated event pics, right? Because if you guys haven't noticed already, I've updated the cover background for the EXP Elite group. And I'm going to make sure that I continuously update that, but I'm going to be asking for your pictures from time to time, all right? Because at the end of the day, you guys know the EXP Elite community is about showcasing other EXPs and being able to highlight the cool events that you guys are executing. So definitely keep those pictures coming when I ask for them. All right. So tonight, definitely want to talk about just a little bit about taxes, right? For those of you who didn't get the memo, my EXPs, today was the last day to file your taxes or file an extension to file your taxes. And usually extensions are 6 months in length, from the time you file, to go ahead and get those taxes in. So with us working, a lot of EXPs, we are independent contractors, and we are also oftentimes maybe considered employees, depending on the position that you take on with the agency and how they classify and how they file their paperwork from an accounting standpoint. But I definitely want you guys to just be mindful of that because as we get into the height of the summer and into the fall, a lot of opportunities are going to be coming up, and you're going to have to make sure that you are budgeting accordingly and that you understand from a tax perspective what that looks like for you. Now, I am no tax professional, so I'm not going to come on here and give you guys tax advice. But for those of you who are new to the ESP community, I have past interviews where I spoke with two certified accountants, one here in the Atlanta area and one actually in California, and they talked in length about the tax laws, the tax implications for independent contractors. All right, so I'm gonna definitely post those links in the comments for you guys to go back and look at it because it's definitely good to just refresh yourself with things that you have to be mindful of as an independent contractor. So all my EXPs who have filed your taxes or have gone through, getting everything prepared for tax season, drop some of the tips that you have in the comments for other EXPs who may be watching this video who are still working through that. Okay. One thing I do want to talk about or keep you guys privy to when you're looking at taxes is just making sure that you stay on top of your paperwork with the experiential or staffing agencies that you may be working with. All right. Whenever you are interviewing for any potential opportunities, I don't care if it's a one-off event, I don't care if it's a month long or even if it's a tour, make sure that you are asking them what, from an accounting standpoint, how do they handle their payroll? First off, you need to make sure, A, am I going to be taxed as a 1099, as an independent contractor, or as a W-2, W-4 employee? If you're going to be working on tour, it may be more advantageous for you to be working to be considered a contractor due to the fact that you may have an LLC and you can take advantage of some of the tax write-offs. But it's really going to be up to how that agency handles their payroll on the back end, because at the end of the day, the agency is going to do what's going to be best for them from a financial standpoint. And we've seen a shift, or I have at least seen a shift with a lot of agencies moving now towards um, having more of a mix of W-2 employees. I know with the pandemic, a lot of EXPs did go and file unemployment, which hurt a lot of agencies as well with regards to tax implications. So while everything is starting to become, normalized, a lot of agencies who may have, considered you a 1099 employee before may have moved to a W-2, W-4 type payroll system to just make sure it's going to be more advantageous and tax beneficial for them. And then you have our standard, staff agencies who understand that, hey, you know what? We have hundreds of EXPs working for us, and it just makes sense for us, especially with us working in California with the different laws that each state has regarding what or who is considered an independent contractor. It may just be easier for them to classify you as an employee. So definitely make sure you're asking the agency before you commit to any program, hey, am I going to be classified as a 1099 or a W-2 employee? Will you be taxing my per diem? Will you be taxing anything outside of what, from a salary standpoint, that I'm going to be compensated, and actually receiving? Making sure that you are aware of the tax deductions that you have is extremely important. When you're full time in this industry, it can be at times overwhelming to keep up with everything, but you have programs like Expensify that make it easy for you to be able to take pictures of your receipts, to be able to manually put in any receipts that you have lost, and it helps you to not only stay on task and stay accountable from a financial standpoint, so that at the end of the year, when you go to your tax accountant or the person that prepares your taxes, you already have all of your expenses itemized and itemized in each category for them to be able to go ahead and input in your taxes. All right. So I cannot stress the importance of being organized, especially if you work in this industry full time or even outside of this industry, right? And you have a full time job and you may have other businesses. Having some type of accounting software that you use, there are so many free ones out there that you can take advantage of, is important. But making sure that on your end, right, that you're keeping up with your expenses, with what is deemed expensible, right, and understanding what you need to do is extremely important. Also, I made mention of this late last year when Congress and they were looking into making this a law, but it is currently a law where now anything over $600, whether that be a PayPal that you receive, a Zelle, Cash App, it is going to be subject to receiving a 1099 from either the banking institution, Cash App, or PayPal, whoever handles most of your transactions. So what does that mean for you? If you're working with agencies, if you're working with EXPs, if you're working with staffing and experiential agencies who may pay you through digital platforms, right? Just be aware that now, though that income that you bring in over $600 can be taxed. And quite frankly, if you use Zelle or a Cash App to do any day-to-day transactions, anything over $600 is liable to be taxed next year. And you may receive the 1099. They're calling it, I think, a 1099K. So you may receive that form to have to claim that as income on your taxes next year. So definitely, guys, make sure that you are aware of everything, because tax laws, taxes, forms are constantly being updated, being changed. So you have to make sure that you are aware of that. Or if you're not one to stay abreast to it, make sure you have a certified tax preparer. Make sure if you're preparing your taxes that you're reading up on the tax laws, or you have an accountant who can point you in the right direction, right? The last thing you want is to be audited by the IRS, because they're going to snoop through everything, and they're going to want to hold you accountable for each and every expense and all your receipts. Okay, so just I cannot stress that enough. Expensify is a great accounting software. TNI still use it to this day. It helps us keep our businesses separate. It keeps us helps us manage our expenses. And then also, if you are on tour and you're able to work on your business, you can start exploring options like ADP to pay yourself to be able to generate a W-2 as an employee of your business, right? I know that's a another story and another topic and another conversation for another day. But I definitely wanted to make mention of that because it's important to start looking at yourself as a business. I talk about BWAB, being a brand within a brand when you're working with different agencies. But at the end of the day, you are not only a brand, but you're a business as well. And how you conduct business is extremely important. How you respond to emails is extremely important. How you handle your expenses and your finances is extremely important. Do you practice smart money tips? All of that matters when you're working within the experiential marketing industry and you're talking about, wanting to move up, wanting to obtain consistent tour opportunities, wanting to be able to pivot out of the industry and create another stream of income or just leverage the skills that you have been able to obtain in this industry, right? How do you make it work for you? All of this matters, right? When you are building your brand within the experiential marketing industry and when you are looking at your finances and when you're looking at how you're able to minimize your expenses, but also accumulate, additional income and make your money work for you. Because that's the end all be all. It does you no good. It's a disservice if you go out here, you guys, we stand on our feet for sometimes 10 to 12 hours at a time. And you're being reckless and careless with your expenses. All right. So make sure you guys are taking the time, get in the right circle with the right people. If you don't understand your finances, if you don't understand your taxes, ask questions, okay? And make sure you guys go back and watch my videos, okay, with the tax preparers because they're going to get you ready. They're going to get you prepared for filing your taxes. Granted, things change every year, but the general basis, the general foundation, and the things that you need to do to prepare yourself for tax season, it never changes. All right. And it's extremely important. I cannot stress that enough. So keep a total of your 1099s and your W-2s when you're working for these experiential marketing and staffing agencies. Because I cannot tell you the amount of times I've had to email the account manager and say, hey, it's near the end of February. I have not received a 1099 or a W-2 yet. When am I going to receive it? So oftentimes HR accountant, you might get lost in the shuffle. But believe me, if it's over that $600 threshold amount or any amount, that agency is going to make sure that they go and claim that money that they paid you on their taxes as a business. So you want to make sure that you are accounting for each and every 1099 and W-2 that you accumulate throughout the year. Keep a running total. I know it can be hard, can be tough, but trust me, y'all make time. We make time to do everything else. So you could create a simple Google spreadsheet. If you guys want me to create one for you, just drop it in the comments. Let me know if you guys need something that's really simple and easy to use. And you guys can keep account of the agency that you work for, the amount that that you made when you work for that agency and the dates in which you work for that agency because it's going to help you at the end of the year to make sure you're organized, to make sure you have all of your 1099s and your W-2s accounted for when you go to file your taxes. Many agencies wait until the end of January to send out all their 1099s or W-2s. And oftentimes, many of them have moved to digital options as well, where you can just log into, if you have a username or password for payroll purposes, you could just log in and they may upload it there for you. So definitely, these are questions that you have to be asking prior to you committing, full time to any type of program. And you have to make sure you are aware of how that agency conducts their accounting structure at the end of the year to make sure you're going to be able to get all the information and paperwork you need to file your taxes. Also, when you guys are looking at your taxes and you're looking to file, make sure you include any retirement, student loans, or interest-bearing accounts, okay, when you're filing. Two, donations. Make sure you have your donations or your charities to write off and use if you're going to be filing your taxes on your own, use a tax certified tax software program. All right. Someone just said they use TurboTax, home, and business. So look at the best option that's going to work for your situation because everybody's situation is completely different. And make sure that you understand how those systems and those softwares are going to work and how they're going to benefit you. Okay. Um, Understanding too that it's going to look different for everyone, you know, and knowing that, knowing your situation, I'm going to say this, right? And knowing that, okay, if I'm looking to buy a home, or if I'm looking to build business credit, or if I'm looking to create additional income for my business, right? You got to make sure that you are not writing off as much, because banks and lenders look at all of your deductions. So yes, you may be saying, you know what, Jay, I want to return back this year. I want to get as much money back as I can from Uncle Sam. Well, that may require you to write off a lot of things and have a lot of deductions, which if you're trying to build a business, if you're trying to get financing for things, banks and lenders don't like to see all of those deductions, right? And I know it's tough, and especially when you're an independent contractor, you're self-employed, you also got to factor in if you're looking at health insurance and you're going through the marketplace, right? Because all of that is income based. So T and I had to go through that as well and juggle and weigh the options. Okay, do we show less income to be able to qualify for less, right, through the marketplace, a less monthly premium? Or do we show more income, pay more upfront, and then by us paying more upfront, then it lessens, hopefully lessens our tax burden, right? So you gotta make sure that you guys are weighing the options, and you got to understand what exactly are you trying to do with the taxes. If you're looking to acquire homes, if you're looking to acquire to build businesses, if you're looking to acquire different assets to finance, then writing off a whole bunch of deductions may not be advantageous. It may not be best for you. So understanding tax laws, understanding how to make the taxes work for you is extremely important. And I know for so many of us, we are entrepreneurs, we have other businesses outside of this, and we have to understand how to leverage credit, right? Credit can be our best friend if we understand how to leverage it. But when you're working in this industry, sometimes you're doing this event recap, you're trying to make sure you got your expenses taken care of, you're trying to make sure you're paying this bill, you're trying to make sure that this agency paid you on time. You have a lot of different things that you're finagling, a lot of different things that you're juggling, and sometimes you can lose sight of what's important. And I want to make sure you guys understand the balance, right, of how much to write off and when and if you should or shouldn't, deduct as much. If you guys have a great tax preparer, they're going to be able to sit down with you, work your numbers, and tell you, okay, maybe you shouldn't write this much off, or maybe you should, or okay, maybe if you're not trying to get a home, maybe we go ahead and write off everything, and then for the next 2 years, we got to make sure we show a positive. So these are all things you definitely have to keep in mind and account for, especially if you're looking to buy houses, if you're looking to invest in real estate, if you're looking to acquire business credit, have lines of credit for your business. All of these things have to be taken into consideration, all right? Because at the end of the day, guys, you know me, I'm a big component for multiple streams. I'm a big component for being able to have a plan B, C, D, and E. And we can't at the end of the day, we can't just depend on the experiential marketing industry. While we may all love it at executing events, we learned that, hey, it can be shut down in a matter of a day, right? And we got to be able to pivot and find different ways to generate additional streams of income. So make sure you guys are just taking the time to understand your tax situation. Take advice from um, tax professionals who understand how to work with independent contractors. My tax preparer, I had previously my friend Maui, and then now they work with independent contractors. They have worked with EXPs in the industry, so they understand the pain points and the things that are required in order to make sure that we're able to not only acquire homes and real estate, but that we stay compliant with the IRS and we don't get audited. Okay. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them for me in the comment section. And I'm gonna do my best to go ahead and answer them. But I definitely just want to make sure, that we're talking about this because um, finances and smart money tips is extremely important in this industry. And if you're working multiple events, if you're working multiple tours, and you have that steady stream of income coming in, it can be so easy to get caught up in, okay, I could just spend, spend, spend. I'm good. I don't need to really balance. I don't need to be disciplined with my finances, guys. Mm-mm. It's the opposite. Now that you have that money coming in, and now that you are in a position to have a steady stream of income, you have to be disciplined with your finances, because at the end of the day, a tour can be cut short. It can be canceled at a moment's notice. The client can decide, hey, we're not going to move forward. We can have another pandemic, or things could change. Or you could be in a position where the brand can just do a complete overhaul and say, you know what, we gonna cut back. We may not have 5 or 3 people on tour. We're gonna only have 2 people on tour, and you could be one of the people that they let go. So you always got to be planning. You got to have a savings. You got to be making sure that you stay a step ahead, that you are setting yourself up financially for success. All right, that is important. And Martin is right. The biggest mistakes EXPs make is not having a retirement plan. Come on, Martin, you preaching. Come on. Come on in here. Yes, you are. You are correct. Having that retirement plan is important. I don't care if it's a Roth IRA, um, traditional IRA, hey, regular IRA, 401k, whatever works for you. I'm not a financial advisor. I can only give you guys information, but you got to make sure that you have some type of retirement plan in place, because as we're seeing, we at our age where we are, we probably not going to have social security at all. We're not going to have it at all. So don't even guarantee, don't even bank on us having social security. And if you haven't been working a lot of events as a W-2, W-4 employee where those taxes are being taken out, when you do, if we ever get Social Security, you're not going to have enough to survive, guys. Inflation, the price of things are going up, cost of living is continuing to go up and increase. So definitely, guys, you got to start now. You got to start now planning for retirement. And I might even get Martin on here to talk about the importance of retirements and savings, because it is extremely important to your, not only to where you are right now, but just to your future, and as you begin to pivot out of the industry. Because hey, if y'all want to be 60, 70, 80 out there doing demos and executing events, be my guest. But Jay ain't trying to be 75, 80 out here to execute events. All right, I'm trying to make my money work for me. All right, so my 1099 exps, for my exps who work and execute events full time in this industry, I cannot stress it enough. Start planning for retirement now. All right. Please. Yes. Who we got in here? Okay. Martin coming in, especially the 1099 peeps. Yes. You guys got to, because you guys are bringing that money in tax free right now. So you got to start planning for that retirement. And correct me if I'm wrong, Martin, but the Roth IRA, it went up to 6,600, I think, a month now. I mean, a year that you can contribute to the Roth IRA, correct? Just drop it in the comments, guys, with the max contribution for the Roth IRA. I want to say it's 6,600, because I think that's what we did this year. So if you can, guys, max out your Roth IRAs. It's 6K. I thought it was 66. Okay, it's 6K. I'm wrong. So 6K annually is what you can contribute to your Roth IRA. Okay, annually. So get with your financial advisor, sit down, look at different options, whether you want to be an aggressive investor, conservative. They have different options for you based on your comfort level. So you can start now, okay? What's Miguel? I figure out what the companies use, I-9, W-2, W-9. If it's an I-9 or anything but a W-2, I ask them to take out extra money to balance out the taxes. As far as saving, always have a minimum of 2 to 4 months of pay. I say 6 months, but hey, 2 to 4 months can work already in the bank. As far as retirement, pay yourself the first 25%. Don't ever touch. That's good advice, Miguel. That's just the first step. If you can do the first two efficiently, balance taxes and have a pool of savings, don't even attempt this business. If you can't do the first two efficiently, balance taxes and have a pool of savings, don't even attempt this business. Preach, Miguel. Yes. So yeah, you gotta balance your taxes and have a pool of savings. All right. At the end of the day, guys, it's all what you make it, right? We have so many EXPs who are able to successfully make this industry work for them because they understand the importance of saving. They understand the importance of being able to manage their funds accordingly. They understand and they practice smart money tips. You know, they separate their wants from their needs. And they understand how to set themselves up from a tax perspective. And if they don't know taxes or do their own taxes, they have tax professionals who can help them and make sure that they are maximizing, you know, the things that they need to from a tax perspective. So April 18th is here. This was the last day. Guys, make sure if you didn't file your taxes today, that you filed an extension, okay? But more importantly, if you filed that extension, make sure you guys are and moving forward doing tax planning. All right. You're setting up those accounting softwares to help manage your expenses, to keep you accountable, right? You're looking at your budget. You know, T and I sit down every week and look at our budget and we look at what's coming, what's going out and what's coming in, right? Make sure that you are staying on top of your debt, right? Make sure that you are separating your wants from your needs. You're not overspending, right? Because at the end of the day, just as quick as you get that check in this industry, you spend it quicker. Just as quick as you get a check in this industry, you spend it quicker. But it's up to you to be smart about how you manage your money. It's up to you to make sure that you're planning for your retirement. It's up to you that you guys are linking with people like Martin in this group. We got Miguel. We got Fred. Thank you, Fred, for checking in. We got Andrew as well checking in. Thank you guys all for joining me tonight. But you have EXPs who are in this community, in this group, that can help you if you are looking for retirement options, if you are looking for ways for smart money tips, if you are looking for ways to set yourself up, you know, from a tax perspective. I'm gonna drop those past videos that I did with the tax professionals for you guys to go back and watch. And there are downloadable resources for you there as well to make sure that every year that you are able to prepare for your taxes. All right. Because the last thing we want to do um, is give Uncle Sam, at least me. I don't want to give Uncle Sam all of my money every year. All right. I want to keep some. All right. And make it work for me. Martin, he dropping some more gems tonight. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is a great read. Yes, it is. That is a good book. And also Rich Dad Poor Dad. All right. So you guys tap in with the financial resources. I'm going to drop the links to the videos for you guys to go back and watch tonight. If you guys have any questions, definitely reach out. You got Martin in the group. You got other EXPs in here who can help walk you guys through it or even refer you to certified tax accountants and professionals to assist you as well. All right. We got some more stuff coming out. Also for home buyer, I would recommend finding a HUD funded nonprofit. They can help you. Yeah. You have nonprofits like HUD, like NACA here in Atlanta that can help you. But in Atlanta, Andrew, the problem is because the hedge fund investors are coming in and buying up all the property to be able to get not only to get qualified, but to be able to obtain a property which qualifies for those programs is becoming extremely difficult because they're just coming in and buying up everything. And a lot of the programs here in Atlanta don't even have the funding to be able to support individuals who are able to go through those programs. So it's just crazy right now with the times that we're living in, especially with real estate from that perspective, because everything's just getting bought up and then getting the prices just being inflated and it's going up. So we're going to see the next 2 or 3 years what what society is going to look like, what inflation is going to look like. Um, Maybe we move into a recession. I don't know. I'm not speaking that. All right. But taxes, EXPs, all right. Make sure you guys are staying abreast in your taxes. Make sure from an accounting perspective, you are staying, you know, accountable, you know, from smart money to your accounting to how you're spending. All right. Wants from your needs and making sure you're practicing those smart money tips. And tap in with Martin and all the other EXPs in the group. You know, that's why this community is here to help you guys, not only in the experiential marketing industry, but outside of the industry. All right. So I'm gonna leave these comments up. I'm gonna leave this video up for the next 24 hours for you guys to go back and watch and view. And I'm gonna drop those links as well to the past tax videos that I did with professionals. You guys be safe. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next Monday. Later.